waiting. When you're just so tired of trying, all alone you feel like hiding. Together we'll keep fighting. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Don't stop now. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna mountains too high we can climb it. Feelings will take in the moment. There's no stopping us. Hold on, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Can you see the sun is shining like a new hope? Feel it rising.
Okay, I think I'm on the air now. Let me just take a fast look. I had had a couple of difficulties. I've updated the software, and let's see. And yeah, it looks like I'm live now. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, eventually I load these video podcasts up to Spotify, but I don't want to have like an opening theme song for over 2.5 minutes, and people will say, well, when is this guy going to start talking? So I did it separately, right? So I did like a separate live stream of that, and like shortly before when I was supposed to start. And then I went into the studio, but it was just setting it up. It wasn't going live, and I had to go back out. It's long, it's complicated. And that's what I had to do. So I'm a few minutes late. I apologize. I hope my fans are still there. And I'm Chris Gargiulo, and I am an associate broker and licensed referral specialist for Realty Connect LLC. And basically contacting me, and then I could either, if you're looking locally, I could send you to agents in the area that I worked with before. Or if you are looking nationwide, you could enter my website and then put in information, and then you'll be greeted by up to 3 agents who could show your properties or list your properties. So I'm doing that now because I'm just concentrating on marketing, and I'm going to be marketing other products and services in the future, and that's what I'm doing now. And what I think for you, the client, you're getting the benefit of 2 agents, because we could do a consultation. I could give you my feelings and my background and my experience with the real estate market, but you could still work with someone else who will actually do the showings and the listings, and they'll bring in their expertise. So I think it's a good thing. All right. And to kind of sum up what I'm doing, I put together this lovely little video. Here it goes. And there you go. Okay. I know I've talked so much about what I put together here, and I just love the music. I'm into westerns. In fact, I watched a western last Sunday. One of my favorites, The Cowboys, um, and it has that western type sound to it. The music, and I actually own the rights to it. Okay, and I just wanted to show the vastness of the United States of America. From the mountains of Montana, where we had the Chinese spy balloons go over, and the plains and the farms, and then New York City, and that's what it's all about. The diversity of America, and I kind of like that. But I can help you now in all 50 states. I think that's pretty cool, actually. All right. So it's interesting that during this week we had the State of the Union address and how the country is going, and actually today's topic, with why today's housing market isn't headed for a crash, could be a statement on today's housing market. All right, so we're going to go over this article that was on my blog this week, and I'm going to also show you, it's not really an opposing view, but it's talking about how still home prices are still prohibitive for a lot of people because salaries are not matching these exorbitant home prices. And I'm actually getting into the material beforehand, but actually let me put this up on the screen. All right, and make my nice little bubble. And this is an item that we discussed in many of the podcasts, how going from, let's say, 20 to 21, home prices went up from 19 to 22%. That's a lot. They've come down a bit, but still from that high altitude, talking about spy balloons, right? Even that they're at these gigantic altitudes, and even though they come down a little bit, it's still pretty high. And with mortgage rates, they went up, they came down a little, they went back up a little bit again. And with the economy still going strong, we had a great jobs report the week before. So with the economy still going strong, the Federal Reserve says we still have to hold the reins on this economy from growing more and more and more. So we still need to raise interest rates. So there's a possibility that the mortgage interest rates will still go up one or two times during the course of this year, depending on how much the economy starts slowing down. All right. The more strong it is, there might be a call to lowering the interest rates quite a few times. Okay. And if it slows down, they might do it, and there might be a small, quarter of a point, not more than that. But it all depends on the economy. It's a funny thing. It's a weird situation because, we want jobs to be created, or we want people to go to work and enjoy their income and buy things and buy homes and buying cars. But in a sense, too much of that, I want to make sure I get both hands in my little bubble here. Too much of that at this point of time is not good as for prices, as for inflation. Now, again, in fact, this weekend, gas prices have fallen. Some places we could get it below $3, which is good. It's getting a little bit better in the grocery store. I think the price of meats have come down. Eggs are still pretty high, but that's a separate issue because there was the bird flu. I'm not going to pronounce the correct name. I think avian or flu that caused many birds to get chickens to get this disease, and unfortunately, they had been destroyed. And hopefully, that disease outbreak is becoming more and more in past history, and a fresh crop of birds are coming up, being produced, and we will level out. We'll soon have more of a supply to bring those prices down. Now, actually, I've always bought the more expensive eggs. I like the free range birds that are able to go outside, and I buy one that says they walk on 8 to 9 acres. They go out there, they talk to other birds, they trade stock tips, and they have a good life. They're not spending their whole life in a cage and just producing eggs every morning. And as a side note, I mean, this is not a class on nutrition, but if a bird is under a lot of stress, they're not going to produce good, healthy eggs. But if they have a good life, they go out in the sun and eat well and drink good water, and they're happy, they're going to produce a nice egg. All right, so going back to the economy, hopefully these items we are doing, these techniques of lowering or increasing mortgage rates will put a rein on the economy. People will buy less, but buy less with the hopes of bringing down prices. All right, so it's a seesaw type of thing. So how does it affect our housing market? Okay, now this is comparing to when the market crashed, or the real estate market crashed back in 2008. And actually, that's when we moved down to Virginia from Brooklyn, New York. I was a high school teacher there in the afternoon, but in the afternoon I did real estate. But I did mostly rentals, and I went out on my own, and I didn't have to share my commission. I did pretty well for a secondary job, which I made pretty good money, knock on wood. And we moved down here actually as this bubble was developing and burst in 2007. This happened with the real estate bubble, 2007, 2008, and we moved down, and I decided to go into real estate full time. I wasn't teaching anymore, and that kind of was like the worst time to enter real estate full time during this bubble. Okay, but one of the big things that are different from the way things were back then and the way things are now is that the mortgages, when writing the mortgages, the companies, the banks and the mortgage companies are a lot more strict when writing it. And the biggest culprit in a lot of houses going on to foreclosure because the owners couldn't pay the mortgage was the adjustable rate mortgage. And basically, let me give an example. Let's say they had a teaser rate of 2%. And let's say back then, I forgot exactly what the average rate was. Let's say it was 7%. and they would say, okay, we'll start you off at 2, but it's going to have a cap, and let's say of 10%, that it will go up to 10%, and it won't go higher than that because it's written in the mortgage. So in the beginning, you get like a really good rate, a much smaller mortgage payment than if it was, let's say, a 7%. But what mortgage companies did back then, mortgage lenders and banks, is that they looked at a person's salary and they said, okay, 2%, no problem. You've been approved. There's no problem with you, with your income and with the debts you have to pay out, that you could pay this mortgage at 2%. However, when the mortgage rates went up to 10%, the owner could no longer afford the monthly mortgage payment. And that happened a lot. I remember back in Brooklyn, there was a librarian in one of the 5 boroughs, I think it was the Bronx, where they approved this young lady for this house that was way out of her means, really. I mean, if she was going with a fixed rate mortgage, most likely they would not have approved her. But at the adjustable rate mortgage, with that lower rate at the beginning, they did. But once it went up higher, she could no longer afford this beautiful, beautiful home, and she had to foreclose. So what banks are doing now, and this is the biggest difference from the way it was back in 2008, is that, okay, you could go for that adjustable rate mortgage, and let's say it has a spread from 2 to 10%. But what we're going to do, we're going to find out now if you could afford that mortgage payment at the 10% interest rate. And if you could afford it now at the 10% interest rate with the salary you're getting now, you got the adjustable rate mortgage. And hopefully, by the time the mortgage rate hits that 10%, you'll have an increase in salary anyway. So it's going to be very comfortable for you. So this is a good thing, what the banks did. And this is one way that we're not going to have a big crash that we had back in 2007, 2008. All right? So they're being more strict in that way. Now, this article is actually on my blog this week. And when I do my podcast, I pick an article from that week to discuss on the podcast. So you could always go to my blog and look at the week's articles, and you'll find the one that we're discussing. And you could read the article in full. So what they're showing here, I don't know if I can make this smaller. Well, they're showing here how we look at 2006, 2007, 2008, how many homes had foreclosed, but then it dropped considerably as we went into 2008, 2009, and so forth. Now, what happens over here? Let's see. I don't know why this article's. I guess it's. Let me get rid of the. Having a little technical difficulties here. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go down to the next one. Foreclosure volume has declined a lot since the crash. Now, what's good is that, again, as we discussed before, the economy has been strong. People are working; they are not losing their jobs. We're not in a recession, even though we keep on talking about it. But at this point of time, we're not in a recession. And we're having really many less foreclosures. One job I also did, I did a evaluation on homes where people were using money from a hard lender. And they would get a contract, but the hard lender would send me out and I would give my evaluation on the home to see if what it could sell for, let me put it that way, once renovations were made to this distressed property, okay? I haven't done any evaluations since at least, I would say, 2020. So for the last 2 years, we just started 23, have done no evaluations. So there's really a small amount of foreclosures on the market. So that's a good thing, all right? So that's another reason why we're not going to have a crash like we did in 2007, 2008. And the other big thing, the supply of homes for sale today is much more limited. So we actually need more listings. We're getting more listings. Actually, the beginning of 2023, I'm seeing more listings going on the market. So that's good. But still, when you compare it from, let's say, 2019, 2020, it's still not as high. All right. So the amount of homes for sale, I apologize. I'm having difficulties in moving this more to the left. I don't know why this came out so large. Okay, but I can't show the whole graph, and I apologize for that. But basically, it's showing the amount of homes that were on the market and staying long on the market, by the way. We're still selling homes in about a 2 to 3 month time period, which is still very good. It's, you know, it was flying off the market a year ago, you know, within a little bit over a month's time. But now we're going a little bit over 2 months now that the house stays on the market. So this is another plus that we have where we're not going to have a burst of the bubble. All right. I'm going to close this out. And what I'm going to show you next, okay, and this is from the Business Insider, and I subscribe to many digital newspapers and magazines, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Fortune magazine. I have Housing Wire, which is really specific for the mortgage and the real estate industry. But I like the Business Insider because they don't hold any punches. They tell you what's going on, and it's very different from you know, if you go to look at Realtor.org, if you go to even the CNBC, it's giving you like at times a Pollyanna look at the market. And as I stated in earlier podcasts, I want to show how it is and not to make it flowery. And then you go with the punches, then you know how to move ahead. So this chief economist who called the 2008 housing bubble says home prices will fall another 15% over the next year as they remain too disconnected from buyers' incomes and the supply of homes on the market. Grows. So I actually think I really agree with this person because even though prices have come down a bit, again, as I said earlier, in some areas of the country, prices went up as high as 22%. And even if they fall 4 or 5%, it's still it's still way above where they were, let's say, in 2019. Okay? Now, mortgage rates have fallen a little bit, but still, even if mortgage rates were still at the 3%, some of these home prices, even at the 3%, it's still a tough monthly mortgage payment. So it may be, and here again, I'm not playing the role as a realtor where, I want you to buy right now. I want you to sell right now. And what I'm saying, and this is as pure as it gets, if you could wait, it might be better to wait. All right. This is coming now more from almost like a journalist point of view. All right. I have income coming in now. So if the market is crappy, I'm still okay. I still make the same amount of income. I'm being very honest. I'm not going to, okay? So if I was in that position, I would say, no, don't wait another year. Buy now. Now, sometimes you have to buy now. You're being deployed. You're going on a job transfer. You're going through a divorce. Sometimes you just have to, right? But if you could wait a little bit, it might be the best thing to do. Now, the same thing with the seller. You could put your house on the market, and that person who must buy now will most likely. I'm frozen in the picture here. I hope I'm still. Why my clock is not ticking? What happened? Am I live now? Okay. I was stuck for a second. I froze. All right. So even if you're a seller, you might want to put on the market now to find that person who needs to move right now before prices go down a little bit more. But you will have more people in the pool. I mean, your house will probably sell a lot faster a year from now than today. So, hey, if you say, let me put on the market now at this higher price, I don't need to move right now. If someone's to buy it, I'll move, or I'm having something built. And you might get lucky. But there'll probably be a lot bigger active market in about a year's time. Maybe not. Maybe at the end of this year. But I think we still have to, there has to be a meeting point. We either have to bring down the home prices or people's salaries have to go up. Okay, so that's like an opposing view on that. Okay? And let me get myself in a nice big picture over here. There we go. Okay. All right, so since Tuesday is Valentine's Day, here's a nice little video. Okay, wasn't that cute? Okay, and just remember on my blog, I have things to consider when buying a home. You could download that for free. It's the winter edition. It's updated quarterly, and also things to consider when you're selling your house, the winter 2023 edition. And where do you go for these wonderful things here? And that's right. I'm showing it right here. Real estate with Mr. G. Blog/resource-materials. And you could download it for free. Okay? Very good. All right, so let's get rid of this. And I think my producer, William, is telling me we have a special performer in the audience. Is that true, William?
Chris, great news. We have in the audience a child actor and comedian, Rambunctious Billy, who is known to play the most hilarious pranks on various family members. Today, we will perform his skit, Fun with Grandpa. Ladies and gentlemen, Rambunctious Billy.
Okay, he was very rambunctious. Okay, so have a very happy Valentine's Day. I hope if you're not with a romantic loved one, I hope you're with family. Okay, someone out there loves you. Okay, all right, and be kind to each other, and remember, the greatest power we have is love, and the greatest gift, each other. I'll see you next week.